shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Behave yourselves!
Hello, YouTubers out there. This is Jerry Saravia at the movies. So today we lost somebody who, once again, one of those people that's been around most of my life. I haven't known a time when he wasn't, and that would be the one and only Rex Reed. Well, he ain't the one and only, but gossip columnist, film critic, wrote several books. This book in particular is the only one I know of where he actually reviews films. Guide to Movies on TV and Video from 1992. So I've had this around for 30, what is it now, 34 years. So it's, yeah. Rex Reed has always been somebody that I always took his opinions seriously. He was a fairly decent critic. As far as his writing is concerned, it wasn't bad, but he was better as a TV personality, I think. And he did take over, or they had, let's put it this way, in the I think it started in the mid '80s. There was Rex Reed and Bill Harris, and then Rex Reed and Dixie Watley both had their own At the Movies show. So definitely stiff competition for Siskel and Ebert. But I don't think their show had anywhere near the ratings that Siskel and Ebert had. So, but as a television personality, he was always entertaining. Like anytime you saw him, and on YouTube, there's still some clips available, which I will provide below, of him discussing movies. Now, he's had his share of opinions like anyone else. There are certain films that he loves, certain films that he hates, some that I certainly did not agree with at all. You could say what you want, and most of you know I'm a huge Scorsese fan, huge Martin Scorsese fan. So Rex Reed loved Goodfellas. Never saw a printed review of it. I wish I had, but he called it one of the richest, finest, American gangster movies ever made, which of course it is. But then he gave Cape Fear from 1991 1 star. Now, what's interesting is that the star ratings in this book don't match up with some of the reviews of some 80s flicks that he reviewed on his show. So some of them got an extra star than what they got here. So I don't know if there was some problem with the printing that they forgot to leave out a star or add a star, whatever the case is. So they didn't always match up with what was in here. But he's also been known for very acerbic comments, some that today would be considered extremely either misogynistic or in some cases even racist, depending on who you are, sexist for sure comments, but equal opportunity offender. I mean, it wasn't even just, let's say, women, of which he's best known for what he said about Melissa McCarthy from one of her pictures. What was it called? Something Thief. I can't remember which one it was now, where he called her tractor-sized. And then he was going to appear on The View, believe it or not, and discuss it, but the situation, but he did not because he was late with the cab, blah, blah, blah. So later on, he said, well, she lost the weight, so it did some good, which is kind of weird. I mean, I don't think Melissa McCarthy paid that much attention to Rex Reed. She may have wanted to lose the weight all along anyway. But he's also said things about Madonna. Madonna from Dick Tracy. I mean, if you read his review of Dick Tracy in this book, I mean, my God, he gave it 1 star. He hated the film. Warren Beatty, of course, is Dick Tracy. So in there he said, Madonna, I'm convinced her armpits smell like Bloody Marys. So he's always been known for saying things. He called Juliette Lewis a good reason to have an abortion. I mean, so if you thought that what he said about Melissa McCarthy was bad, back then, long before, he said all sorts of things. I think the other one was about Hook. Robin Williams, for having shaved all his chest hair and body hair for Hook to play Peter Pan, He said Robin Williams looks like a boiled pork butt. So, either you're entertained or not. Today, he would be considered widely offensive and would have probably been canceled. A lot of his, excuse me, reviews since the McCarthy debacle, if you want to call it that, have not been that scathing in personal remarks. So, love it or not, the guy certainly was entertaining. But today's audience wouldn't really find much of what he said entertaining. I mean, it's not like this guy was a comedian, but he did say funny things, and non-apologetic for the most part. Because Rex Reed's been pretty much a fixture of the New York City social scene. With any celebrities, he was good friends with Natalie Wood. I will say one thing: if you look up, and I will try and find it and see if I can place the link for it, when Natalie Wood passed away, they were friends. They would go sometimes Christmas shopping together and all sorts of things. He was supposed to be, Rex Reed, on board. It's not really a fun fact. He was supposed to be on board that boat with Natalie Wood on the day that she passed away during that Thanksgiving weekend back in 1981. And he chose not to go for whatever reason, so Christopher Walken did, who was good friends with Natalie Wood because they were in the film Brainstorm. But it was so moving what he said about her that it was just it's an emotional read. I'll try to find it and see if I can place the link below. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Rex Reed. You know, I had wondered what happened in the last few months, the last 6 months, because usually I try to read his reviews to stay sort of current on what he thought about some of the new movies, of which many he did not like, some which he did. And there was nothing in the New York Observer, which is where he had been writing reviews since 1987. So I wondered if he was just not into it or he was not feeling well, and well, it turns out he was ill. So it's rather unfortunate. But anyway, those are my thoughts on Rex Reed. What are yours? Let me your thoughts. Tell me what you think. If you've, or if any of you even have this book, please tell me if you have it and when you acquired it and what do you think of it, especially. He was certainly an original. He was very different from all the other major movie critics. Siskel and Ebert at that time, Gene Shalit, Joel Siegel, all those guys. He was unique, a unique voice. Whether you agree with him or not, or whether you think his writing was good or not, doesn't matter. He was unique. Certainly different from Pauline Kael. So anyway, tell me what you think. If you're new to this channel and you like what you hear, please hit like and subscribe. It helps with the algorithms. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you. And we'll talk more movies pretty soon. So there you go. My thoughts on Rex Reed. And this is Jerry Saravia at the Movies, signing off.